What is going on, everybody? Justin Thomas here, and today we are going to be talking about the Westworld Rickroll, the what I assume to be soon to be infamous Westworld Rickroll. I'm going to need confirmation that we got audio in the chat, and I want to thank everybody who is coming on short notice. I am just kind of taking this in as well, so maybe I'll change my mind about this, but I am going to warn you guys that I am probably the biggest Westworld supporter and have been so supportive of the series. But my view on this is that it's kind of biting the hand that feeds them. And that's what we're going to kind of talk about. And it's going to be an open discussion about what we think their intent was with this, and if this was tasteful, and just in general, the state of content creation. I think this does open up a dialogue about some of the negative aspects of content creation, but I don't think Westworld is the show that should be really taking that stand. And I'm going to get into this, and I have some stuff to show you guys. We'll be doing some screen sharing because it's not even arguable. They run the most complex, most purposeful, viral marketing viral marketing campaign, ever. And it's intentional. They do this. If they don't like people having theories, then why are you putting binary code in your trailers and setting up mock websites that also have code? And I mean, it's going against everything they've been doing and a lot of the reasons why they've been successful. And I'll get more into that in a moment here. I'm just sorry. I'm trying to do a few things at once here. Let me check my chat. I need to get my screen set up. Let's see. All right. So is the sound good? Can I get confirmation? Can we confirm it? And then we will jump into it. Let me go to my... Yeah, I definitely agree, Ian. Iron Throne. Sound is good. Thank you, Rich. Thank you, everybody, for coming. All right, then we can jump into it. All right, then I can stop stumbling all over the place. So for anybody that doesn't know, and I am going to screen share this, I think that I'm probably going to have the sound come through my speakers and through my mic, so it might not be the best, but we'll just play a little bit of it. I really like the video, but I don't like the message of it. So, okay, during a Reddit AMA, for those that don't know, here's what Nolan said. He said they thought hard and long about this. This means we as him and Lisa Joy, his wife, and also the other showrunner. So we thought about this long and hard. It came to a difficult and potentially highly controversial decision. They wrote, if you guys agree, we're going to post a video that lays out the plot and twists and turns of season 2. Everything, the whole sorted thing up front. They claim the idea was that the community would protect fans from spoilers. Nolan cited Game of Thrones as an example of such protection of content. Fan of the show who had read the books and therefore knew the plots were committed to keeping such information from those who hadn't read the books. So I want to stop right there and say that's not apples to apples. And this is not, I am actually a bigger Westworld than a Game of Thrones person, so I am not at all downing on the Westworld community or those that are fans of the Westworld series. But comparing the book reader only, early adapter fans of Game of Thrones to this situation that he's proposing, hoping to get the same type of loyalty and same type of dedication, it's not apples to apples. It doesn't mean that people are better than other people, but okay, let's look at this. The people that started reading the books in 1992 had a little bit more dedication to the series and wanted others to enjoy it. They had more incentive to not spoil than people that, first off, yeah, of course, Westworld, if you want to get technical, has a book, and it also has an original movie, but the show is not that book or movie. So this is essentially its source material is the series. It doesn't have books. And if you want to do an apples to apples comparison. Compare what happened when the show only fans got a hold of the leaks last season, and where was the community's protection then? Obviously, spoiler videos are the most popular Game of Thrones videos there are. Leak videos are without a doubt the biggest draw for YouTubers. And now personally, this is where I'm conflicted because I see their point, and Phil, the Issues guy, one the best live streamer on earlier, jumped on right away, and he was really for this because he, like myself, I feel like, well, I'm not going to speak for him, but what I got from what he was saying is that they're taking a shot at the people that make cheap content. And I've gotten in trouble in the past talking about, never naming names, but people that I feel don't have a lot of substance to their content, and it is all just bullshit leaks. Are their theories are just pure speculation without being based with any type of facts or any type of just even common sense storytelling knowledge whatsoever. And unfortunately, there's some of the most popular channels around. But yes, although this might be an attack on that would be a fight for the Game of Thrones people. Westworld, on the other hand, they have fed us information left and right through all these cryptic ways with this most, like I said, intentional viral marketing and complex viral marketing campaigns ever. And there's a few examples I'm going to bring up here about how I feel that Nolan is upset with essentially the people that are, supporting this show. In a few times they've spoke out, and also how they are not only failing to see that they're kind of biting the hand that feeds them. And again, this is just my initial reaction, but they also are failing to see the fun in the enjoyment that people get out of crafting theories. And again, I agree. There is validity to some theories that come from, substance and come from a place of intelligence. And then the people that are just making faceless men theories and people that just read plot leaks that they got from, Reddit. I don't have respect for those content creators, except for they knew when to put their finger in the air and their timing was good. But I have an article that I'll be screen sharing talking. This is one of many about the stars talking about how they have so much fun on set themselves crafting theories. So I just think it was a poor move. Let me go to the live chat. I'm going to play the trailer really quick here. Let's see. And then I will be able to see your guys' chat. Again, I don't know how good the sound will be for you guys. We won't do the whole 25 minutes of the dog, but we will play the first part for you guys. Let me know how the sound is.
Our season begins with Bernard waking up on a beach. Can't remember what happened, how he got there. All right. Something's wrong with his mind. He's picked up and questioned by Delos' head of security, Carl Strand.
Keep walking.
Strand grows increasingly irritated with Bernard's inability to remember anything. Is he not cooperating? Or does he simply not remember? The bodies littering the beach spark something, like a door opening in Bernard's mind. The deeper he goes, the closer he gets to the meaning behind it. Can you remember how this all began? Can you remember Dolores? Can you remember the choice he made?
Beautiful, by the way. It might be offensive, but beautiful.
We're no strangers to love. You know the rules, and so do I. A full commitment's what I'm thinking of. You wouldn't get this from any other guy. I just wanna tell you how I'm feeling. Gotta make you understand. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. Never gonna run around and desert you. Never gonna make you cry. Never gonna say goodbye. Never gonna tell a lie. Hurt you. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. Never gonna run around and desert you. Never gonna make you cry. Never gonna say goodbye. Never gonna tell a lie and hurt you. Yeah.
Well, you heard us. All right, so that was it. So yeah, I mean, it's funny and it's cool, but like I said, they can't have it both ways. Now, and this would be more of a fight for the people that are, behind Game of Thrones, with Dan and Dave are just fighting to, make that series not a complete, dumpster fire in the final stages. So I can't really get behind them being upset with fan theories when their show definitely depends on not only their viral marketing, but people having theories in general. My biggest issue with the first season was that plot, the dual narratives that was, that was more really to create buzz, in my opinion. They knew people were getting into these online communities and it was really boosting Game of Thrones. So I feel that definitely had a huge impact, whether they meant it or not, for people to be sitting around theorizing about what was going to happen. And that really took away some of the substance to that narrative, in my opinion, with messing with the narrative timeline so much. So, you're talking about, oh, well, so many people are making these theories and, there's no division between what is a spoiler and what is just a theory. And it's like, but there's a big difference, because Game of Thrones has an issue with security. They somehow, this plot leak, which again, this is an example of where I'm on board with other people are like, yeah, we like this. It's like, hey, no more bullshit content creation. Not just everybody with a microphone that has just some screwball theory should be able to talk about it. But guess what? I mean, a lot of those people are the most popular, and they are just exposing plot leaks, actual script leaks. And they do play it fast and loose, because let's look at this season. Almost everybody that does those comes out and says those leaks are fake in their nonsense and they don't believe them. And then they do 2 months of theories. And I don't get how you can do that. I mean, they're either nothing or there's something, but hey, hundreds of thousands of views. So yeah, that aggravates me too. But unfortunately, the Westworld community, that's not their fight. And they have been depending on this, but it has also come back and bit them. And you can tell they're really, really involved in not only the viral marketing, but actually, like monitoring Reddit. Let's take a look at this article right here. And I think this is where some of his anger is coming from. This right here, I covered this again. You guys need to go watch some of my earlier videos. I've been covering Westworld for a long time. Reddit user correctly guesses Westworld season 2 plot twist. Reddit users have correctly guessed a Westworld season 2 plot twist, causing creators to rewrite the script. So obviously this is in their head. So I could see how that could be frustrating, but come on. Number one, I wouldn't have rewrote the script. Number two, they can't have it both ways. It's a double-edged sword, and it's not the same as their scripts being stolen. And they're also not understanding, which is right in front of their eyes, that a lot of the appeal of their show comes from these theories. Look, Westworld stars come up with their own fan theories, says Evan Rachel Wood. And this is they talk about this in interviews a lot. I've covered this, that, they're constantly guessing because they don't get the scripts entirely. They don't get the full storylines. Like what Jeffrey Wright was like one of the only people to know, because he had to know early on, because he had to have subtle changes in his character, and he wanted to know probably why he was changing outfits every other scene. That, you know, he knew the Bernard leak, you know, or whatever plot twist. He knew that, but they get them in increments, so they don't know themselves. So they see that not only do these theories, you know, are enjoyable for them, but they're also very profitable for them. So I mean, I don't know what they really want people to stop, and if you guys feel like this is them biting the hand that feeds them as well. But it's arguable that, look at the digital age that we're in. That's when I get so mad about fair use in issues like this, is because we essentially are commercials for the show. They used to have commercials where they would have consumer reviews and people, oh, this is a real user of this service and blah, blah, blah. Now everybody that has a Twitter account is, you know, essentially part of their marketing campaign, and it's for free. So we pay to do this sometimes. So kind of biting that hand too doesn't go too well with me. And again, they you hate the theories, and you think there's an issue, there needs to be more of a, you know, degree of separation between the two. Come on, guys, you're putting binary code in commercials. You're goading the community to make theories, and then you pull something like this. It doesn't, you know, it doesn't jive well with me. I've got a few qualms with this. Let me look at the chat and see what you guys are saying. Yeah, and you know, again, this again is just another example of their viral marketing right here, because they're getting buzz about it. I'm talking about the show. A bunch of people are talking about the show, but this time they put a negative connotation behind the theories, you know, a negative stigma behind it. So it's almost like, oh yeah, those people, you know, shouldn't be doing this, or they shouldn't be doing that. And again, I think there'd be more of an argument for the Game of Thrones people, because people exploited actual stolen leaks. And you can see that the people that make those types of videos don't give a shit whether it's real or not, and they're just going to ride that gravy train until it just, you know, stops making them so much money. And there'd be more, I think, of a discussion to be had there. But Westworld, a show that, like, the great Phil from Phil the Issues guy earlier, you know, I wish I could play some of his interview, because he brought up some you know, good points, you know, about people knowing some stuff and keeping it to themselves, and about how shows on Netflix, you get it all at once and it changes your viewing experience. And he's right, you know, but like Westworld, for instance, wouldn't work on Netflix because we would binge it. So they wouldn't have that, you know, that week to week, you know, community buzzing about their show as much, and they wouldn't get the numbers because they wouldn't have us talking about it in between. They depend on us. It wouldn't be as exciting if we got it all at once, because none of us have any self-control and we would just binge it. Shows that are made for Netflix are formatted differently than shows that are made for network TV. And same goes for shows that are made for HBO, are formatted differently than shows that are made for regular television, because in the way in which they're consumed. So you can't have it both ways, pretty much, Nolan. And yeah, hey, I get it. You know, people are interacting on Twitter. I got the first official confirmation of Jimmy Simpson coming back through Twitter. But hey, I guess, you know, first off, thank you, Jimmy Simpson. Second off, if you don't like that type of stuff, talk to him. Again, you cannot have it both ways. You know, yeah, and Alexandra, yeah, I'm saying these are my you know, base opinions, but they are knocking the community when it comes to this, and it's just ironic that it's the show that runs such an extensive viral marketing campaign that is the one doing it. So you know, it's a conversation to be had. Let me see, I'm going through the comments here. It's a conversation about content creation that we had as well. You know, what constitutes substance when it comes to these videos. The videos that, you know, when we do our live streams with Robert and our other guests, we base it, you know, all off of the stuff that we know. And there's very little, if any, speculation, like wild speculation. You know, and that's part of the fun of content creation, and part of the fun of being a part of these fandoms as well, is that you get to enjoy the show more than an hour a week for 10 weeks out of the year. you know, and you don't get that. You see that with Stranger Things and all that. We love it, but it's like everybody's talking about it for a week and then it's done being talked about. Imagine if Stranger Things was on HBO, the lifespan that it would have. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, they're definitely having a good time. And it's definitely a fun little spot. And I don't think it was meant to be offensive, but just because something's not meant to be offensive doesn't mean that it's not. I think they're going to get in the coming days a lot of negative bite back, and it's already coming. And I, like I said, I'm going to cover the hell out of Westworld. I love Westworld. This isn't going to change if I'm going to watch it or not. These are my initial reactions to what we're seeing here, though. And my initial reactions are taking a little bit of offense to it, since they literally need these theories to be as popular as they can be. And it brings up a lot of hypotheticals. Like I was talking to some other content creators, and they're like, well, actually, we think it would be a good thing if they did this, if they were really going to do this, which they're not, because it would weed out some of the content creators that don't really have a mind of their own and just, you know, deal in bullshit. But the sad part about that is there's a big market for that. So no matter what, even if you're making content of substance and just doing basic reviews or whatever, you know, you consider to be legit, you would still have less traffic coming through. And Westworld already is not as popular as it could be. And I don't think that it's a fair comparison, again, to make that comparison between the people that originally protected the Game of Thrones secrets to people watching Westworld having all that information at their hands. Because we saw what happens when people get all that information at their hands. They give it out immediately and they make a lot of money off it. And that's a totally different, it's not apples to apples. Like I said, it's a totally different situation. I guess that's my question for you guys. What would you guys think if they really did this? Would you look at it? Would you guys honestly go and read this, or would you be able to? I always find it hard to believe when people tell me they don't read the Game of Thrones spoilers. I don't know, maybe I just have no self-control, but I find this hard to believe a little bit. Would you guys think that would make content creators we definitely would have to work harder, but do you think it would really weave them out? Or do you think it would do nothing but hurt the community? AU, the reason I take it negatively is they seemingly are putting the negative stigma behind people that have theories, and they say that people have such access to, you know, the stars and to their content now that it creates problems. It can be problematic because some people don't know if the content creators are talking about something that's true or not, which that is on the people watching to have some common sense to know that. But this is a show, as you know, that puts out so many Easter eggs in every single commercial, in every single spot that they do. They have commercials within commercials through code, and they're talking about how, you know, the fan involvement is kind of mucking up their process. And I'm not mad. I'm not like, this shouldn't come off as a rant to you guys. I'm not like super pissed or anything. I think it was an odd move for them to make to pull something like this and say that, hey, you know, maybe we'll just give everything out so we don't have all these silly content creators making theories and stuff like that, which, you know, there are a lot of silly content creators. So I can be silly at times, but yeah, I'm not so much pissed. It's just the point of, I think out of all the shows that were to take like even a joking stance on this, just messing around with it, there's obviously, like I said, I'll share these articles with these Reddit users. They've had issues in the past where they have rewritten their script. They rewrote part of season 2 script because somebody, I guess, guessed the plot point. That shows me a little bit of obsession with it on their end as well. I just think it's an odd move. Let's see. A lot of people, Red Walrus, you don't read the GOT spoilers this year. First time. Yeah, I mean, hey, they're not, I mean, everybody has those videos now, but they say they're not real, and then they do a series of videos on them. I don't get how you can do that, but that's what you do. Yeah, I respect the people that don't have the spoilers, but I don't I think there's a huge difference between, you know, like theories and in reporting on plot leaks. And obviously there's theories that have more substance to them, but it's all fun. Even at the end, the plot leaks are still fun. That's only saving grace for showing the plot leaks that you don't even believe. I mean, it's just glorified fan fiction. Essentially, you're just saying, hey, you know, because Game of Thrones is taking 2 years to come back, let's, you know, have some fun. Or Westworld's taking 2 years to come back, let's just have some fun. And yeah, they're just having fun with us. I just think that I think we will see some negative kickback from them. Of course, it's not going to affect them that much, but out of all the shows that could do this, I would just say that it's definitely a odd show to go this route. And I think it would have a negative effect on the community if this were to really happen. And I think that's the conversation to be had here is, what would this do if this were really happen? What would this do for the show? I think that the show's ratings would go down, because half the fun of their show is the theory crafting, is the speculation, is the time in between shows that allows you to still enjoy the series. And again, yeah, I don't think that like Nolan and Joy did something like that's just unspeakable here. I'm not pissed off. I just think it was in poor taste. But that's just me. I do things that are in poor taste all the time. Let's see. Well, thank you, Amber. Milt K, I don't mind being spoiled at all. Well, Milt, you're so smart. You got to know everything. Thank you, Amber, a adamant supporter and all that. Yeah, it seems like you guys are not as you know, you don't take it as I have taken it as much. As far as if it could have some negative kickback or not. But I think it's not so much whether you pick sides. I mean, everybody can feel the way they feel. There are some journalists, the New York Post didn't have very many good things to say about this. And things are still coming out. But I'll be interested to see what Westworld Watcher says about this and stuff like that. People that, you know, they make a living off, you know, reporting the series. And it just brings up, I think, if anything, even if you just want to look at the bare minimum consequences of this, it brings up the question of, you know, like what these theory crafting, you know, and fans that do the theory crafting, fans that do spoilers, and fans that do, you know, like everyone from bloggers to people that just post on Twitter to YouTubers like myself, podcasters, where their place is within, you know, mainstream media, and where their place lies with, you know, the success or failure of a show. You know, they're mad when people are guessing things right, evidently, but they also, you know, wouldn't have had as many fans if people weren't widely speculating last year about the Man in Black and you know, young William. So, and I believe they put that in there because they see appeal. And you can see a lot of new series these days are using storytelling techniques that lend themselves to theory crafting because they see Game of Thrones and how well it did. The only fair comparison between Game of Thrones and Westworld that I can ever draw is they both lend themselves to theory crafting. Other than that, nothing. And I don't think they should ever refer to Westworld as the next Game of Thrones. I think it could be better than Game of Thrones, but just don't make that comparison. Totally not apples to apples again. And it's not apples and apples to compare the people that read the books before the series was even created and managed to keep, you know, their mouths shut on a fairly wide basis. And also, it might be hard to believe, but Game of Thrones has been on for 8 years. And the big difference between the amount of people that are online within these communities in these 8 years, the amount of people that were on it, Reddit, Twitter, and even Facebook groups when Game of Thrones first started, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but it has to be drastically lower. The sense of online community was not yet as strong as it is now. Now we have Facebook groups. I run an official amino for Westworld. You know, so I guess maybe, you know, it might hit me a little bit harder because I'm so deeply involved in it, not just as a content creator, but as somebody that runs a community and sees the joy that people get out of making blog posts and stuff like that. So this essentially would be, you know, saying, well, there's no need for that, because we gave it all to you already. So there's no need for us to do these things that we enjoy so much. Yeah, I always want to write my own Game of Thrones season 8 script and see if any of these creators will pick it up. Yeah, and you know, like Milt's saying, the theory vids and spoilers, at least grounded in some fact. I mean, a theory video, if you're going to make one, should be based off of you know, trends in the narrative, and should be based off the structure of the show and what we've seen so far, what they've established. Just going when you come into theories that have no substance, that's when people just want something to be shocking. Like, wouldn't it be shocking? But the question you should always ask yourself when making a theory is, what does this do to further the story? What does this do other than shock us? Now, that doesn't mean that they don't put twists in films and television series that don't further the narrative and are just for pure shock. But those films, those television series are usually not looked upon well by the mass majority of the population of the viewers. So, you know, you can tell when it's a cheap twist. That's M. Night Shyamalan got, you know, eventually he had his twist of substance with The Sixth Sense. Now he's found his form back. But then when he did The Village, people felt like that had no substance. That's a good example right there. The Village, it was just, ooh, well, does it make sense? Does it work on any level? Or is it just going to be surprising? And it was just surprising. So nobody enjoyed it. The Sixth Sense, it worked. You could go back and rewatch it because of that and watch it through, you know, a different set of eyes, essentially knowing, you know, what you knew, what you didn't know the first time. And that's something that lends Westworld to rewatchability as well, is that you now can rewatch knowing the timelines are not linear. We won't go, let's see how long we've been going. This won't be a very long stream, but I just wanted to get... Thank you, Milt. I try to do a lot better. I would have got that dragon turned and I would have got the wall down in a far better fashion. You could have gave me 2 days to write a better script than Beyond the Wall. I'll tell you that. That is just them saying, we need all of our favorite characters to be together. They're like, how are we going to do it, D&D? They're like, doesn't matter. Just make it happen. Does it have to make sense? Nope. Break every rule we've established about crossing the wall. Can the whites swim? Nope. Are they swimming? Yep. How far is this? You know, how long is it going to take for them to get there? That doesn't matter. It's not like there's a bunch of maps of the place or anything. It's not like we've really fleshed that out. Like really, really, really made it obvious how hard it is to get places. Arya and the Hound. So just have Gendry like run like, you know, 1,000,000 miles and Dany fly there in a minute and Littlefinger would be wherever. Yeah, they're just trying to get out of this series without being scathed as much as possible, in my opinion. So we'll see how season 8 goes. But don't knock it until you have to do it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, he did it. He did do the marathon quite well. Rich Satterwall, The Sixth Sense fucked me up the first time I watched it. I know it still fucks me up. And what fucks me up even more is see, what's his name? That kid now, Haley, whatever. That's more of a twist. That's the biggest plot twist, is what that fucking guy turned into. Well, if anybody had any questions? Anybody? Yeah, I mean, if you think I'm completely out of line with taking some offense to this, or thinking it, I wouldn't even say I take offense to it. I just don't think it was a good move for them. Yeah, and there's always the people. I mean, it is annoying that people, and like Phil was talking about earlier, he was talking about how there is an issue too with people that read spoilers and then they go and claim like it's their theory. And yeah, that's a problem. I mean, but the problem of having content of substance, you know, for all of these fandoms is just an issue that it's on the fandom to weave out. You know, I've stopped complaining about certain content creators just because, hey, if so many people are watching them, I guess that is the goal of content, is to bring us joy. However people get joy is, as long as it's not hurting anybody, is up to, you know, them. You shouldn't be able to judge it or say anything negative, but there's obviously channels that do a little bit more work than some, and it's blatantly obvious, but cheap thrills. It was a taped April Fool's Day. Let's see. But yeah, I think that you said it best, Throne, earlier. Let me look back here. Let's just looking at some of these back ones. We can debate whether the dog is playing in memoriam. Yeah, I think it was the dog playing. Okay, yeah. Ion Throne. Sorry, I know I always mispronounce your name. It's like Lost and Leftovers. Want the buzz from the mysteries, but not all the responsibility of answering them. And in this case, it might not be the responsibility of answering them, but it's a response. It's the burden that might come along with people widely speculating. And evidently, like even as a content creator, I don't really watch other people's videos. I really don't. So like you would think as somebody that is successful and is creating content on the largest level, the creator of Westworld, I mean, I can stop myself from going on Reddit. Nolan can't. Nolan literally rewrote season 2 because of somebody on Reddit. Like, that's crazy to me. Like, you'll never get anything done if you worry about copying people and all that. That's why it's like, oh, this person did that theory. It's like, well, I don't watch it. You really can't, else you're just going to be in your head. So let's see. Lisa think, hey, Macaulay Culkin is a fine man. You're handling well. Apologies for no. Hey, Amber, again, you need to stop apologizing. You are the reason, and this is the reason why I take a little bit of offense to it, is because like some of like one of my patrons right here, Amber, she is such a, you know, great support system and a great part of my life as a content creator and as a fan, because we can enjoy these things together. So it is kind of just like saying, well, like, well, you want to know what? We're not for people, you know, sitting around and having these community, because they call it crowdsourcing theories. That's what they refer to it as. So it's like, well, you know, I call that community. You can call it crowdsourcing. I call it community. And again, people, I'm not, if anybody is not going to spit all over or shit all over Westworld, it's going to be me. I've been like, that's my long game. I've been really invested in Westworld more than any other content creator. I take the day-to-day of running a community on it. I would not be shitting on it for no reason or shitting on it at all. I'm just saying, odd choice for a series that you know, embeds theories within theories, in commercials within commercials, and has a bunch of fake websites to run their show. Their viral marketing is genius. This might be a good example of outrage marketing. It does work. But thank you guys for showing up. Thank you for all your thoughts. Again, it's the discussion. It's like, you know, the Philly D show. I keep the likes and I keep the comments activated on my channel because I truly do want to know what you guys think. It seems like in general, a lot of you don't vibe with what I'm saying about this. You take it more, you know, it was just fun, which it was. I mean, it was a beautiful video, and I thought it'd be really cool to see how that would look. I don't think it'd be advantageous for the community, not because it would affect my content, but it would affect the flow of traffic looking for content in general. But, you know, that's what it's about. It's about a conversation. But on this channel, it's truly about a conversation, because my likes and dislikes are always active. My comments, no matter how pissy they are always there. I don't delete comments. So thank you guys. You mean the world to me. Let's go crowdsource some theories, and let's just try extra hard this year to guess everything for Westworld season 3. So Nolan just goes insane, just literally goes insane, since he's obviously spending so much time on Reddit. But thank you guys so much. Make sure to subscribe. I will be having, I've got Hawk's Dogma coming on in the coming days. We have to, I will link him in the information below. He makes some really good Westworld videos. He took a break for a little bit, but just came back. He's done some really good stuff. And of course, Robert from Indie Geek, and we're gonna have AU on again, AU Pack Mule, the YouTube ambassador, and some other exciting things coming up. So thank you guys so much. This is just my initial thoughts on what I'm referring to as the Westworld Rickroll, and let's see what happens in the days to come. Let's see if there's any bite back. Let's see if I'm right. Let's see if I'm wrong. Leave a comment. Put the thumbs down if you want to put the thumbs down. But hey, you know, put that thumbs up. Thank you guys, and we'll talk soon.